Welcome to show.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing super swell.
Oh, good.
Well, how about you?
I'm
mister?
doing just frickin' swell.
Oh, that warms the coldness of my heart. Up to coals.
That's up to cold.
Up to coal.
It was at freezing.
It was at frozen shard, and now it's at coal.
Yeah.
So it's getting there.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's always nowhere to go but up, right?
Nowhere to go but warmer.
But warmer and upwards.
Exactly.
Hey, welcome to the Island Shuffle, which is the show where we watch Lost in the wrongest order possible. I'm host Bean.
And I'm host James.
And this is a very special episode. This is a big milestone that we
Big milestone. We just watched our 40th episode of Lost, which is 1/3 of the entire show.
Yes. There are 120 episodes, 121 if you count the finale as 2, which we're going to do. So a little under a third, technically.
A little under a third. We'll watch. We'll have a special episode for like a third of the way through the next episode.
Exactly, yeah. We'll stop midway through and go, yay, we did it.
For the sake of mathematics.
Exactly. Look, I care deeply about mathematics. The numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie, and numbers are a big part of this show, Lost, which we are watching.
Yes.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. What do they mean? Nothing, really. But they're there.
They're there, and they appear all the time, and you spend the whole show going, wow, what the heck is the deal with these numbers? And like most of the things on the show, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
It just ain't much of
numbers.
It's cool set dressing.
You know what is unfortunate?
What's that?
If those are ever like the numbers in the lottery to win the lottery,
yeah,
I feel like the people who win with that, the pot is going to be pretty low for them because it'll be split between like 100 different losers.
I think it has
losers. I shouldn't say that. We literally dedicate like so much of our life to this show. And
we're
I'm
like
looking down upon people who watch it.
Yeah, really big of us. The people who have now watched a third of the show Lost and have recorded our impressions of watching it in this completely ridiculous way.
I'm just saying, you got your lottery numbers, it's got to be the birthdays of your children, you know?
I do also want to say I think that has happened once that the numbers did come up in a lottery somewhere.
No way.
And it was split between a number of people because
of course
they were all,
it was.
Like doing the Lost goof.
I feel like I was like, it's unfortunate that it was split between so many people. At the same time, you still won the lottery.
Exactly.
Even if you get like $30,000, it's still incredible.
It's still like pretty like maybe not life changing, but certainly year changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, what a shame. Only $30,000.
Oh, boo hoo.
And it was probably more than that. It was probably like, let's estimate. How much do you think they won?
I'm gonna say 30,001.
I'm going to say $700,000.
That's a...
it was a big pot. It was a $200,000 pot and $200 million pot, and 300 people won.
Jeez Louise, that's still so much money.
Yeah, I know. Even when you divvy it up like that, it's still a lot. So
and I imagine
what we're trying to say is that play the lottery.
Yeah, I think we just really think that the lottery is great. It's cool and super fun for everyone.
It's the best way to get rich because every week someone gets rich from the lottery.
Exactly. It's almost like they're using a random number generator of their own, you know?
They are.
Yeah.
Plus, you basically have a 1 in 2 chance of winning.
Exactly.
Either you win or you don't win. 50-50.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. It's like flipping a coin.
It's like flipping a coin, the lottery is.
It's like flipping a very poorly shaped coin.
Yeah. There's no real sides to the coin.
Yeah.
It will very rarely land on what you want, but the metaphor still holds.
Yeah, exactly.
The comparison, I don't know what.
Nobody knows.
Lost.
Lost is a show that we are watching. This week we watched season 2, episode 22.
Episode 22. It's titled 3 minutes, and that's how long I wish this episode was because it's another Michael episode, the worst character in the show.
Heyo. Wow.
And I know that early on I declared Charlie as the worst character in the show, but He's leagues better than Michael.
Michael's season 2 is maybe the worst arc in the whole show. For a single character, at least.
What's Michael's catchphrase?
Give me back my son.
Give me back my son.
Where's my boy?
I want my son.
Do you have a son?
What? Yeah, exactly. When he's not looking for his own son, he's like
accusing
shaming people for not having a son. All of his dialogue revolves around his son.
Literally every single line. Like, at least in season 1, he like occasionally talks about anything other than his son.
Yeah, exactly.
In season 2, he's entirely defined by his absence of a son.
I wish we had a counter for how many times he says, I want my son or give me my son, because I feel like we probably got about 30 this episode.
Definitely so much of this
Every
episode.
scene with him has about 4. I want my son back. Give me my son. Do you have a son? Where's my son? Help me find my son.
Yeah.
It needs to be us going to find my son.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. So, for some context.
Yeah.
On the previously on, we find out Michael, at some point, has had enough. He's going to find his son his own damn self.
He's off to the races.
He's off to the races, and
he gets on the horse.
He gets on the horse, and so he vanishes from the show for a few weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he comes back.
Which was incredible when he left.
What a relief. And he comes back, and he's like, hey, I found the others, but we have to go now. And then he goes and he shocks the world by killing Anna Lucia and Libby and letting the imprisoned Henry Gale go, who we know now as Benjamin Linus.
Henry Hale.
And so, bada bing, this episode, flashbacks revolve around filling in that gap where he was
that your
gone.
East Side Mario's guy impression? Bada boom, bada bing.
That was just me being me. I don't know.
Italian food in the mall. What's better than that?
What's better than this? Guys.
East Side Mario's. Bada boom, bada bing.
Hey, you want your Italian food in a parking lot next to a Walmart? Forget about it.
That's my specialty. $17. Yeah, so not a great restaurant.
Not my favorite.
But, it's trying its best. It's still going.
Sometimes the family goes there, and it's fine.
It's a spot you can take the kids.
You see some kids down the way having a birthday party, and today they're having fun.
Yeah, it's okay. Michael could take Walt there one day.
Yeah, one day.
If he ever gets him back.
Maybe
if he just yells about it a few more times.
He'll get there. With enough yelling, you can do anything. So this episode's flashbacks, and I think we should start with those.
Yeah.
They kind of fit, like, similar to the episode where it filled in where Claire was missing that time. It's that deal where it's, instead of being like, what's Michael's past? It's like, what happened to Michael when he was gone?
Oh, yeah.
And what happened was he beat up Locke for a gun, which was super unnecessary.
It was super unnecessary because Locke gave him the gun first.
Yeah, he walks up to Locke and is like, hey, can I have a gun? And he's like, well, what for? And he's like, oh, I want to, go hunting. And he's like, yeah, here you go. And then
he hits Locke in the head with the gun. And it's like, he gave it to you already.
You're good.
But he didn't try and stop you. He wasn't like, hey, Michael, wait.
And then he goes to the computer in the hatch.
Yeah.
The famous computer that everybody loves to put the numbers into.
And it has inter-island MSN.
Yes, somehow. So Walt, he has
up MSN.
He brings up MSN and he chats
his what do you think his screen name would be?
Screaming _dad_ at hotmail.biz.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that he has an off-brand Hotmail account. He couldn't get on the .com bubble or something.
Oh, he totally went to Alta Vista and searched Hotmail, 2 different words.
He tried to look at it through Bing, and even though it's the two are associated, Bing is just so goddamn bad. It led him to a .biz.
Sometimes you get led to the .biz, and sometimes the .biz leads itself to you.
So he logs on, he talks to Smarter Child for a while. He taunts Smarter Child, and Smarter Child's like, I'm not going to talk to you, you're being mean to me. So he's like, oh, right, whatever, what's Walt up to?
So he talks to Walt, and Walt's like, insider lol. And Michael sends him a giant image of a dancing pig that takes up his whole screen. against his will. And
Can I just say,
yes.
these jokes are for 90s kids only.
Oh my god.
You will only get these jokes if you were around in the 90s.
If you were around
a kid in the 90s.
If you were a kid in the 90s, boy howdy, let me tell you about MSN. You don't need to tell you about it because you know all about it.
Don't you like it whenever there's like things that are like for 90s kids only and then the entire list is like
late aughts shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like that happened in 2009.
Yeah, I love only real 90 kids.
Only 90 children will understand this.
Yeah.
There's a very select few, no more, no less.
I really
But you all can look.
You're all only 90 of you though. It's very privileged.
You know what
information.
sucks also about like
That.
the 90s kids only stuff? Whenever you look and you're like, oh yeah, I know like a third of these.
Yeah, some of it because I feel like it's just like regional stuff that happens to be from your childhood. Like only 90s kids remember this chaotic instrument that was on one particular playground.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
just
It was made by frickin' Bronel Steel from Brampton, Ontario, and it only shipped to Toronto and made it out to Manitoba, but it didn't even go east of Toronto. It wasn't even in Ottawa.
Didn't even make it to Ottawa?
Didn't even make it to Ottawa. I don't know why
God.
they took it to Winnipeg and not Ottawa, if you ask me.
That's a long-ass journey. At least it made it to Thunder Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to where my mom's family is from,
Aw,
Thunder Bay.
have you ever been?
I have, many times.
How was it?
It's nice and quaint there.
Nice.
Quaint. Yeah. So I got really distracted by thinking about Thunder Bay.
The Bay.
So, oh God, I'm trying to like pull back into the whole 90s
Walt,
kids.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael hit lock. Then he got on MSN.
He go on MSN. He chats with Walt and says, "I'm coming to get you right now." He go, but then he finds a man who go pee in the jungle.
Yeah.
Peeing man says, "Hey, you're Walt's dad, right?" And Walt is like, "You fucking piece of shit!
What are you trying to do to my son?
Give me back my boy!
Give me back my boy!"
And I like. It sounds like we're joking when we say that's all he says.
It's all he
literally
says.
transcribe his dialogue, and it is exclusively. I'm gonna say 90%.
I hate him. Yeah,
all, like-
I hate him so much. I hate the writers. I feel so bad. Like I feel bad for the dude who plays Michael because it's just handed such a shit role.
It's such a not. It's yeah. I want to stress, Michael's character is poorly written.
It's so.
It's
yeah,
not
all he
interesting to
does is
watch.
ask where's Walt, and it's so boring.
It's
I get it. Your son is gone. Just say a different word.
just have a different mode. Have any other character depth. Have any other
exactly.
motivation.
Exactly.
Literally, be like, "What's for lunch today?" Once.
Yeah, exactly. And even when he comes back in like season 5 and he's on the boat.
Yeah.
I guess season 4.
Yeah.
They're like, "What's up, Michael?" And he's like, "Doing it all for Walt."
Yeah. It's still the same.
It was all for Walt,
It was
and now
all-
Walt won't forgive me, so I need to go earn his forgiveness because it's all about Walt.
It's all about Walt. I'm defined entirely by a character that we don't see.
Meanwhile,
anymore.
Walt gets no screen time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We forget about Walt.
Yeah.
They need him to scream about him because we forget that he exists.
No one remembers that he was on the show.
Okay. So he goes and turns
Where's
out
Boone?
Where's Boone?
Boone?
Where's Shannon?
Where's Shannon?
So pissing man was but a trap.
Uh-huh.
And so he's surrounded by others.
Yeah.
And this is in the era where the others were not sophisticates living in suburban homes, but were tattered homeless dudes living in rags.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
why?
I'll tell you why when we get. I'll tell you why in a bit.
Okay.
For now, a bunch of shitty-looking dudes, including Tom in his fake beard.
Tommy boy.
Tom in his fake beard comes through and he's like, "Hey," and Michael tries to leave, and Tom, the absolute madman, the legend, says, "Don't kill him. We need him alive," and then whips 2 rocks around.
Oh, yeah.
He fucking Goliaths
That's
him.
crazy.
It's the wildest move in the show I've ever seen.
It's a good move.
Tom comes through and wins my heart back. That's representation, baby.
He Indiana Jones is.
He sure does. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Walt is kidnapped and taken to.
Or Michael is.
Sorry, yes.
Walt was kidnapped
Walt
a
has
while
been
ago,
kidnapped.
which we learn every time Michael speaks.
Every time Michael opens his goddamned mouth.
My son is gone.
Oh shit. So Michael is taken to the others' camp, and it is all tense. And he sees a door with the Dharma symbol on it, and he's screaming at everyone, "Give me my boy! Give me my boy!"
Where's my boy? Is he here?
And someone comes up and he says, "Hey, I'm Miss Clue. I've got some questions for you, Michael." And while he's doing this interrogation, someone comes up and sticks a needle in him and steals his blood for some reason.
Yeah, he's like, "What's this?" And they're like, "We need your blood." And then they leave.
That's that.
Never addressed again.
Gotta get some blood.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, you know. So Miss Clue is asking questions, and he's like, "Hey, I have to ask you questions about Walt. How long have you known him? Has he ever had anything weird happen to him? Has he ever appeared in a place where he shouldn't have appeared?" And Michael's like, "Give me freaking give me my son,
my boy."
And Miss Clue gives him a nice big own in the form of saying, "Well, if you're so concerned about your son, sure seems like you don't know a whole lot about him."
Because he literally doesn't know a single thing about his own son. Because even though Michael's main motivation is to retrieve Walt for the entire show, it is also well established that Michael has spent max like 10 minutes with Walt.
Yeah. Prior to the island.
Prior to the island, yeah, exactly. Everyone's always like, "Hey, like, when did your son start talking?" And he's like,
"I don't
"I
know.
have no idea.
Wasn't around for that.
Just met the boy."
And like, on their own, those things are fine.
Yeah.
That serves at the idea of like, oh, now I have to be a dad on this
and
island.
like cultivate this relationship.
Exactly.
But when you put the two together, it's so awful.
Exactly.
It's
And
like, if he's gonna be his dad, let him be his dad.
Exactly. And it's not that Walt shouldn't be concerned that his son is gone.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly healthy and normal reaction to have.
Yeah.
But the fact that Walt literally becomes so nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else at all. Willing to become a murderer for it.
Yeah, Michael.
Like, it's bananas.
It's awful.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what I will say?
What's that?
Even though this episode is entirely about one of the worst storylines in a show with many very bad storylines, this was an okay episode.
This is not a bad. This is
I
definitely.
sort of liked it.
It's not a bad episode,
Yeah.
despite Michael, isn't it? There's some cool shit. Miss Clue turns out to
Miss Clue's
be.
incredible.
Why doesn't Miss Clue turn up more often?
Exactly. She disappears after this episode, and
Yeah.
it's like, you had one good character.
And she's just like super like a really good foil to Michael, just like barking at him.
Yeah, exactly. Because she's like very calm and mysterious, and her name's Miss Clue.
Very good character to have among the others, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So night falls. A week falls, in fact. And Michael's like, "When are you going to kill me? I've been here a week. I'm not giving you any answers you want. And I've seen where you are. So, like, what's the deal? Like, I'm no good to you. And Walt's probably dead." And Miss Clue goes, "Oh, no. Walt? He's standing right outside. And here he is.
Here's Walt."
And so they have an awkward conversation, and Michael's like, "Are they hurting you?" And Walt's like, "They're making me do tests. It's weird." And Miss Clue's like, "We're not talking about that."
Don't tell him about the tests.
And it's like, this is an all right scene. And then Walt runs up to Michael and is like, "Please help me. Oh my God, it's weird. It's really freaky." And then they yank him away, and Michael is so shaken, so stirred by this display that he says, "All right, you got a deal. I'll do whatever you want."
Whatever you want,
And
Miss Clue.
And here's the deal. Here's the bargain struck. You go back to your camp. You bring this list of 4 people back to us. And
not the list. You bring the 4 people on
yeah,
this list. Here's a list, and go to your camp, and then come back, and we'll give you your son.
He's like, obviously, easy.
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
No, he's bring these 4 people back to us. and we will let you and your son.
And
go
also free Ben.
Yes, free Ben is another condition. Free Ben from his captivity. So this is the plan. And much of the episode is Michael trying to get this plan into motion.
Yeah.
He has already successfully freed Henry Gale at this point.
Uh-huh.
And Libby and Ana Lucia are dead in the process.
Yeah, he murders them in cold blood.
Which, hey, not part of the plan. I want to mention.
Not chill.
They did not say.
Chill.
They explicitly said you didn't have to murder those guys.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
In fact, there's such an easy way to do that plan without murdering them.
Yeah, just don't murder anyone in the process.
It seems stunningly easy to not murder.
I don't know. I have gone through my whole life not having yet murdered.
Yeah.
But life is long.
Well, you've never lost a son, have you?
Not yet.
Well, so think about it.
Wow, that's true. Have you ever had a son?
Try walking a mile in Michael's shoes.
But I bet if I had a son, I would know what his favorite color is.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Well, your son's going to listen to this and find out someday, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. He'll be like, Dad, you don't know shit about me.
My favorite color? Tell me what it is right now, or I'm leaving.
It changes every day.
I like your son, by the way.
He has an awful voice. What are you saying about me?
Just shrill and screaming all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? There's not much you can do. So, Michael's trying to convince everybody.
Yeah. So who's on the list? I don't think we.
Oh yeah. The list is Jack, Kate, Sawyer, and Hurley. Thankfully, happen to be 4 people who are around when all the stuff is going down.
Yeah.
And so Michael says no. Like Jack is like, hey, all right. Sounds like we've got enough guns. We can outnumber them. They all live in shitty houses and tents. So why don't we gather up a lot of people? We got a bunch of guns, and we're just gonna fucking go for it. And Michael's like, no. It has to be us 5, and it has to be in the morning, okay? It's got to be my way. I lost a son, and it's got to be my way. You have a son? No, so it's got to be my way.
Michael, your plan is bad, and maybe if we had more people, we would do a better job of beating them.
Okay, that's an interesting point, but I just want to I just got to see how many sons you have. Oh, that's right, you have no sons. I have 1 son and he's gone. Gone.
That would be really funny if they just used that line once.
Yeah.
Just let me check real quick. Sorry, how many sons do you have?
Oh, that's right, none sons.
Therefore, I am a great military leader.
It's me. And so that's kind of how it goes.
He also, he recruits most of them fairly easily. They're all like, all right, yeah, chill, give me a gun, I'll go see them.
Yeah.
But then Hurley doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
And there's this great scene where Hurley is literally digging the grave of his dead girlfriend, who Michael killed. And then Michael jumps in the grave of the other person that he killed, Ana Lucia, and he's like, hey, Hurley, we're gonna go get the people, try and get Walt back. You want to come? Hurley's like, no, man, I don't really want to come. He's like, Hurley, you idiot, you gotta come. Like, Hurley, you're so stupid. And Kate's like, chill. Dude, you killed his girlfriend. Chill, Michael. I get it. You have a son. And then Michael's like, Kate, how many sons you have? Because I have 1 and you have none. And Hurley, you're coming with us.
And Hurley's like, fuck off, dude.
No, I'm not.
I got a grave to dig.
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally digging a grave.
So that happens. Another wrench thrown in the plan is that Sawyer recruits Saeed.
Yeah.
Saeed, having been a soldier,
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a useful thing to have in a military-like assault.
Uh-huh.
But of course, Mr. Michael is not a fan of this plan.
Michael doesn't like that one bit.
He doesn't like that one bit, and he says, and he protests, and everyone's like, "Come on, dude, we gotta have Saeed. Saeed's too useful.
He's the best one."
And he's like, "Okay, fine." And then he goes up to Saeed and says, "You're not coming." And it's the same deal where it's just like, you got a son, I got a son, everyone, nobody got a son.
I got a son.
And
Saeed's like, it'll be way better if I come and then we can actually beat them.
Yeah.
And Michael's like, yeah, but I have a son.
And it's my call. It's my decision. It's nobody else's decision. It's my decision.
Because of my son.
Because of how I have a son. So, and Saeed is like, okay, fine, you got it. And then on the way to the funeral, Saeed's like, hey, I have a wild hunch coming up. I think Michael might be compromised.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and Jack's like, what? No way. Michael? Why would he lie to us? And
He's
Saeed,
acting so normally.
And Saeed's like, is he? Is he really? And everyone's just like, that's just how Michael acts.
Yeah, he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I think they should have done?
Mm-hmm.
They should have gotten Claire to be like their voucher for the side of like, let's bring 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Michael would be like, where's your son? And Claire would hold up her baby and be like, surprise, bitch. Like, I got a son. I get a say in this.
The only two people with authority to make any decisions, Claire and Michael,
Yeah.
the new leaders of the island.
The new leaders of the show. The new main characters.
The new protagonists.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
And Mother's Day as well.
Day, of course.
It's Son's Day.
It's Son's Day.
Sons have a day every single week.
That's true. They've had enough.
They've had enough.
I've had enough of the sun in the sky. Get it out of there.
Well, it's
Why
nighttime.
can't the others kidnap that sun?
Seriously.
I guess they do every night.
Every night. But it gets away.
It keeps getting away. It's
Predictably at the same time.
It's a real cat and mouse.
Yeah. Sometimes the clouds cover it.
And sometimes, whole other side of the damn earth.
Well, seriously.
It's
The
fucked.
sun rotates around the earth.
It's true. No, everybody's thinking it, but nobody's saying it. The earth is the center of the world. The sun revolves around the earth. And this fucking Galileo bozo can take a hike as far as I'm concerned.
Galileo off the bullshit.
Oh my god.
Honestly, the sun revolves around the earth because the sun is so impressed by the earth's flatness. It's like, how can I be flat like you? Let me just check this from all different angles. I just want to see. Oh, yeah, so you got like this side, it's just straight, and then you got a little layer, and then you got a bottom that's straight. You got two sides, and Antarctica's all around all the sides. And you see, it's just one big flat thing.
Can I really just heartily recommend, real quick, interview between Kyrie Irving and fellow NBA player JJ. I forget if it's JJ Redick or JJ Barea.
Are they both flat earthers?
One of them is at least open to the idea of flat Earth.
Kyrie's a flat earther.
Kyrie is a
right?
confirmed whole hog flat earther.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving, one of the most remarkable basketball talents of the current era.
He's making what, like $20 million a year and spreading the goodness of flat Earth while he does it?
Absolutely. And he's having an open conversation with one of the JJs of the NBA about various conspiracy theories and how their inner mind's eyes are opened. And boy, there are some
inner mind's eyes.
Yes,
wow.
they're boy.
Nothing opens the inner mind's eye like YouTube and WordPress.
Truly, I was just annoyed that they didn't really bring up how JFK shot himself.
I know, seriously, the one true conspiracy theory of them all.
The only true one.
I've told several people about that, and every single person has like the same shocked and bemused reaction.
I mean, it is a stunning thing to think about.
I know. I love the thought that there's someone in a basement right now, like, just delving through droves of information, trying to find the one link that definitively proves that, like, in the middle of a parade,
like a storage cabinet full of just like strings and
strings, exactly,
newspaper clippings and information.
They have that wall that the detectives have on the detective show, and there's like pictures of suspects and there's pictures of things, and then the strings that connect them. But every single picture is just, there's two different types of pictures.
Yeah.
One is the pictures of JFK.
Yeah.
There's about 50 of these on the wall.
Yeah.
The other ones the pictures of a gun. And instead of a string connecting all of them, it's actually just like a drawing of JFK's arm. I found the missing link. It was his arm.
It was his damn arm. Why didn't you think about it?
How did he? But how did he hold the gun?
Well, that's the next step, right?
That's the next step.
They'll get there.
Lee Harvey Oswald shot himself.
I love to laugh about assassinations.
True. Assassination, honestly, not a great country.
No, certainly not. Like a nation that's sassy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assassination.
Assassination. Yeah, no thanks.
I don't need that toad.
Please take your tood and check it at the border.
Check it at the border. Oh my god. That would be an incredible thing for a border guard to say on like the crossing from Sassy Nation into like, I don't know, Germany or whatever.
Yeah, sassy nation nestled between Germany and Poland.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, we were talking about a show. There was a show we were talking about.
Sorry, I got lost in thought.
There's a. So I also want to just mention that almost everything about the others' plan, if you think about it, like the others and their whole motivations and their like hierarchy, is one of the like easiest things that crumbles as soon as you think about it even a little bit. So let me break it down for you. We know, I think we saw a scene for this, but we didn't really have context. But Saeed explores this camp and figures out that it's a fake. It's a front. And of course, we know that they really do live high off the hog over in the suburbs or whatever.
Yeah.
So they had this front out here to terrorize and antagonize people. They kidnapped Walt, did some experiments on him. Unclear what's up with that. They get Michael, and they convince him to bring over those 4 specific people. What was it? Sawyer, Kate, Jack, and Hurley. Yeah. They successfully pull off this plan. They bring him out to the dock. They say, Hurley, the only reason we needed you is to to go back and tell everyone else.
To be a messenger.
Exactly.
Do you think they were just trying to get him to exercise?
Maybe.
It's rude, but it's like, that's 2 days of walking.
That's a big walk.
And
they're just looking out for him.
They just needed any messenger.
They really did. And then the other 3 spend the start of season 3 in prison on that island.
Yeah.
So that Jack can do a surgery on Ben Linus. I don't know how Ben managed to orchestrate this whole thing while being kidnapped.
In captivity.
Yeah.
He managed to move an entire town to a tent neighborhood, do experiments on Walt for some reason.
He baited himself. He let himself get captured so that he could bait Michael into freeing him somehow. Everything about...
Why not just steal Jack?
Yeah, just steal... If you're going to steal anyone...
steal Jack.
Just steal Jack.
They steal like 12 people before they get Jack, and it's like, all you have to do to get Jack to do something is just like break a stick in the woods, and he'll be like, we're going out there, and Kate will go, I want to come, and he'll go, you're not coming. And that's it. That's what the whole show is, again, for 6 seasons, for 121 episodes.
And we... still have 81 to go.
I love it.
There's a few more minor plots and dits in this episode throughout the thing. I wanted to highlight a handful. Charlie has a subplot in this episode, and his subplot is he goes to Claire and gives her, he says, hey, check out this vaccine I found.
Oh, yeah, I found you some vaccine.
I found a briefcase full of vaccine and a gun to administer the vaccine. I figured the infant baby should have it. Here it is.
Claire's like, what does it do? And Charlie's like,
I tried it. Seems fine.
I don't know. Yeah. Let's take it every 9 days. I know we have a doctor with us, but let's just keep this under wraps.
Yeah, this is your decision.
Trust me, the junkie musician from England. I found a vaccine in the woods. Here you go.
God, and you know,
and that was essentially Charlie's plan to like,
win
Claire.
Win back Claire. They're on the rocks, and Claire's like, well, and then they get distracted by Michael showing up.
And that's their whole arc.
That's their whole arc, done and dusted. The next thing that happens is that what happens? Oh, Echo has now decided to take up the mantle of being a button pusher.
Oh yeah, Echo, and that's never explained. I guess maybe later, but
it is. Well, I think Locke. No, it's in that episode where they go to the hatch, and Locke is like, "Fuck this shit," and Echo's like, "Now I know.
I believe in it.
Yeah, it's the real shit now."
Yeah.
Except the way that manifests is that Echo literally just sits
in front of the computer all day.
Yeah, we get one scene where he puts the buttons in, and then Charlie comes in, and Charlie's like, "Hey, where the hell have you been, dude?" And Echo's like, "Hey, love to see you, man. Can you bring me my things?" And Charlie's like, "Wait, weren't we building a church? Come build that church." And Echo's just like, "This is what I do now. This is my life. Go bring me my things."
Charlie's like, "No." Echo's like, "All right, I'm just gonna sit in front of this computer for another 107 minutes."
And then we get a scene later where Jack comes through and is like, "Hey, Echo, we're having a funeral for Anna Lucia and Libby in a bit.
You want to come?
Want to come?" And Echo's like, "No, thanks." And we see the clock, and it's like 30 minutes left in the 108-minute cycle. So it implies that Echo's just been sitting there.
Been sitting there the whole time and plans on sitting there longer.
Honestly, big mood. But, like, you got to get some games on that PC, dude.
That's it. Echo, go to the kitchen.
Go
buddy.
Eat a food. Take a poop.
Yeah, you have a ping pong table there.
You can play a record.
Exactly.
You have
what are you doing in this chair?
The most underused thing in the hatch is nobody plays records anywhere nearly enough. There's like a record collection.
They do. They have a great record collection. Presumably, I have no idea what's in that.
It's my assumption is it's any music at all.
Yeah.
Which is better than none of music, which they had up until the hatch.
Honestly, but music's in your heart.
Yeah, music is in your heart. Music belongs in your heart and in your soul.
And in the instrument.
Oh, yes. Can't forget the instrument. The git fiddle.
The git fiddle.
The keys. And that's the only instruments I can think of.
Drummer.
Yeah.
This, and trumpet.
Whoa.
Ba-da-dow.
Hey, that's what a trumpet sounds like.
Yeah, I've been working on it.
And it's been paying off.
Does anything else happen?
There is exactly one more thing that I want to mention. Very funny scene, which is the moment. Actually, there's two scenes I want to highlight. The first scene is when Sawyer's talking to. They're kind of getting the guns ready. Sawyer and Jack are. And Sawyer's like, "Man, I screwed Anna Lucia."
Oh,
and Jack's like, "Pretty inappropriate. Why are you telling me that? She's dead." And Sawyer's like, "'Cause you're the closest thing I got to a friend on this damn island." And it's like, aww. After that, gosh. Oh, there's also a moment where Sawyer says something completely nonsensical.
It's like 2 sentences long of just like weird Southern babble.
It's literally, I think, this is during the scene where
he has a Boomhauer moment, essentially.
Sawyer is recruiting Saeed, and Michael is protesting. And Sawyer's like, "Well, if Pippi Longstocking and Mr. Big and everybody go to Goodleedly-doo, and I gotta go."
That is actually a perfect representation of what it was.
I kind of got a little Ned Flandersy there.
He was wearing like a green sweater and a pink collared shirt.
He had a full mustache.
Full stash.
And
Rod and Todd were with him.
Had a Bible ready to...
Maud was dead.
He was talking about his favorite Bible verses. Anyways, that's Sawyer. The main thing I really wanted to highlight, the moment I really wanted to highlight, and the reason we're highlighting all these moments is because for all our griping and grousing about Michael, this episode was loaded with a lot of goofy-ass character moments.
Fun. I like this episode.
That made it like not quite a miserable slog. It was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Here's a good moment. Hurley is eulogizing Libby.
Oh.
Hurley says, "Oh my gosh, Libby was a psychologist or a psychiatrist. She probably helped a lot of people. She helped me. She meant a lot to me." Mid-eulogy, turns around to Michael and says, "All right, I'm going to come with you guys after all." turns around, finishes the eulogy.
Returns to eulogy. Could you imagine being at a funeral and that happening?
Unbelievable. Power move, honestly.
Joseph was my best friend, and I loved him. I'm coming with you guys. And I'm gonna miss. There was another really good scene.
Was there?
So Charlie's hanging out. He gave the vaccine. He did his job for the week, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Vincent comes up to him and he's like, "What is it, boy?" Then Vincent runs into a tent and looks under a thing, and there's a bunch of statues of the Virgin Mary with heroin.
Yes.
And Charlie looks at them, and then the next scene is him throwing them all into the ocean. And it's like 2 days ago, they had established that they were using those for medical purposes and used one on Libby, who had just been fatally wounded. Used a heroin. But it's like, that is their sedative.
One heroin.
They used one of the heroin. And Charlie, it's like, in the context, it sort of makes sense because Charlie is addicted to heroin. Yeah. Okay.
He's trying to, it's a big, like, oh, he's doing it. It's him throwing all the things is shot from like 800 different angles.
Oh, yeah. He throws like 10 of them.
Yeah.
He's throwing them about 10 feet into the ocean, which is like, has these waves going back to the beach. So they are going to wash back up.
Yeah.
But it's like someone going into a hospital, finding all the fucking painkillers and then like
no
flushing
more.
them down the toilet.
Finally, I've managed to kick my terrible opioid habit. Gotta go into the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. No more painkillers anywhere.
None.
No more. If I can't have them, you can't have them.
Oh, God.
So I thought that was a little silly.
It was very silly, but it was silly in a way that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
How'd you like this episode?
It was awesome. 8 out of 10. I love it.
Perfect episode. Best episode we've ever watched.
Yeah, it was. Michael sucks.
Yeah,
This was the best Michael episode.
Absolutely it was.
Because we were learning things,
Yes.
and there was some sort... Like, the others' tent camp is sort of cool.
Yeah.
Miss Clue is awesome.
Miss Clue is very cool. And the interactions with the camp as, like, the news of, like, oh, Michael's back. Oh, and Anna Lucia and Libby are dead, as that ripples out.
There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's having, like, a sort of emotional response.
Exactly. Yeah.
The gang is classic, like, round up the guns, we're going to the jungle.
Yeah, exactly. Even with Michael the wrench being thrown in there, it's still like classic. We round up the boys. We're doing a damn thing.
Doing a thing.
And yeah, I'll give that episode a 6.
Yeah,
I'll give that a solid 6 out of 10.
I love it.
It's better than what we've been dealing with lately, I think.
Seriously, we're coming out of a rut.
We're coming out of a bit of a rut. And guess what? I also want to have a quick little tete-a-tete. 40 episodes deep into this damn ass experiment. 40 episodes ago, I asked you if you wanted to do this with me, and you said yes. And I'm wondering if that was the best or worst decision you've ever made in your life.
If I had to lean one way or the other, worst decision of my life.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
Fair.
such a daunting. It's really fun to be 40 through, and I have a lot of fun doing it. It is so ridiculous to think like I have to continue to watch every single show or episode from this show that like I wouldn't even say I really even like Lost at this point.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know how much I like Lost anymore.
I know, because like it sucks whenever you watch an episode and you're like, oh, I remember thinking this was good years ago.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The show just isn't good in a modern context.
It really isn't. And I feel like watching it the nonsense way we're doing really emphasizes how unwatchable it is without the like info drip that kind of runs through it.
But it's fun. I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. Someone has to do it.
Someone had to do it, and I'm glad that it was us. And thank you for coming along on this journey with me.
Hey, thank you for inviting me along.
And we'll see ya at episode 80.
What do you say we roll the dice?
I agree to that. Let me pull up the old info, not transit info. I don't need to take a bus home.
I'm gonna put us on random.org, which is it's a random number generator.
Oh.
It's a .org, so you know it's trustworthy.
Wow.
And what did we get? I did 1 to 121.
Mhm.
We got the number 83.
83 is a late one. Let me see.
I love it. 83 seems like an episode that I would like.
I'm going to guess season 4.
Sounds about right.
That is
'Cause
correct.
That is correct?
It is season 4. 83, you said?
Yeah.
Season 4, episode 11, Cabin Fever, and it's a lock episode.
I love it. I think we're coming out of a rut.
I sure hope so.
I like season 4.
Season 4 is always something.
Yeah. Who
There's
knows what we'll get?
There's always something going on in season 4. Hey, thanks for listening to our show for this long, this many eps, and hopefully you stick around for another lot more eps.
We're almost done at Michael, so the worst is behind us.
That's true, confirmed. Like we say, wait, I've been Bean.
I've been James.
And at the end of every episode, we like to say one silly little thing, and that's going like this.